You know something funny? When we was talking in like the 12th round, I think the 12th or 11th, we was talking right? But he like, you ain't gonna win. I said, why not? What you talking about? He like, they ain't gonna give it to you.
The controversy surrounding Tank's majority draw against Lamont Roach Jr. is getting messier by the day, and it's starting to look like one of the biggest scandals in boxing this year. What should have been a straightforward fight result has now turned into a heated debate about corruption, favoritism, and whether Tank Davis was protected by forces outside the ring.
Whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people saying, "Oh, that he should be disqualified. He went back to the corner." I don't buy that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's a warning, but it's a bit of a bizarre.
Fans are still in disbelief over what happened in the 9th round, yet referee Steve Willis refused to call it a knockdown. Instead, he hesitated, briefly starting a count before stopping himself, leaving everyone confused about what they just witnessed. That moment alone shifted the energy of the entire fight. And now there are whispers that Willis was pressured, or worse, bribed, to keep Davis from losing his belt.
If you take the knee, man, if you take the knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking the point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking the point off. I don't know what happened.
The fight itself had already been a shocking one. Roach, a massive underdog, stepped into the ring with nothing to lose and everything to prove, going up against the power and aggression of Gervonta Davis. Very few expected him to last 12 rounds, let alone push the champ to the limit. But that's exactly what he did. For the opening bell, Roach showed he wasn't there to be another name on Tank's highlight reel. He was calculated, disciplined, and fearless, slipping Davis's big punches and countering with sharp, accurate shots. As the rounds went by, it became clear that this wasn't going to be an easy night for Davis. For the first time in a long time, the Baltimore fighter looked frustrated. His usual rhythm wasn't there, and Roach wasn't giving him the openings he wanted. Then came the 9th round, the moment that changed everything. Thank you.
I mean, the only reason they gave you the fight was because you would make more money as a champion, but there's no way it's a draw. And they didn't call it a knockdown. If they called a knockdown, you lost.
Roach landed a shot that staggered Davis, forcing him to drop to a knee. The crowd reacted immediately, expecting to see the referee count it as a knockdown, but Steve Willis, a man known for his animated reactions in the ring, did something completely out of character. He hesitated for a split second. He seemed to start a count, but then he stopped. Instead of ruling it a knockdown, he waved it off like it was nothing. The commentators were stunned. The fans in the arena erupted in confusion. Social media lit up instantly with people demanding answers. How could this not be a knockdown? The replay showed it clear as day. Davis took a knee after getting hit clean, yet somehow Willis acted as if it never happened. The scorecards at the end of the fight reflected that moment, with Davis escaping with a majority draw instead of what many believe should have been a loss.
Not being in big names, so they overblow it.
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little things, because he ain't knock him out, he probably feel as though that he lost, and he didn't, or it was a draw,
And now it seems that more details are coming out. Allegations just started surfacing that Willis had been offered a $2 million bribe to protect Davis. At first it seems like nothing more than conspiracy talk from angry fans, but then boxing insiders started whispering the same thing. Some claimed that people close to Davis's camp had been in contact with the referee before the fight, and that's why Tank was so sure, telling Lamont Roach that whatever he does, he is not going to be given the win. Others pointed out that Willis's hesitation in the 9th round wasn't just a mistake. It looked like he was second-guessing himself because he knew he couldn't afford to make the wrong call. If true, this would be one of the most blatant cases of corruption boxing has seen in years.
Honestly, I thought I should have won without that being counted a knockdown. Look, I ain't the ref. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he had to wipe sweat out his eye, he had to wipe sweat out his eye. But the rules do state, if you voluntarily take a knee, then that's an automatic 8 count. But it is what it is. I wasn't relying on that. I was relying on...
Things got even more suspicious when the World Boxing Association rushed to defend Willis's decision in a move that only added fuel to the fire. The WBA published an article on their official website insisting that Willis's call was justified. The article stated, "From our perspective, Willis's decision was not unreasonable or unjustifiable. No knockdown should have been recorded." That statement alone had people outraged. It felt like the WBA was going out of its way to shut down the controversy. before it got too big, but the backlash was immediate. Fans are not buying it. Boxing analysts are calling it ridiculous. Former fighters openly criticized the WBA for trying to protect Davis. Within hours, the article was being torn apart across social media, and the pressure on the WBA only got worse.
It was a close fight. I'm not surprised the way Lamont fought. I knew Lamont was going to come to fight. It was the opportunity of a lifetime. He did a good job. He fought a great fight.
What was wrong with Tank Davis? I mean, I was
what was wrong with him? Every night in boxing is not your best.
The heat became so intense that WBA President Gilberto Mendoza was forced to take down the article and publicly apologize, but even his apology raised more questions. Mendoza posted a direct message to Lamont Roach Jr. on X saying, "Champ, as president of the WBA, I must apologize for the opinion of a collaborator of the website. We believed in you since day one. We knew you would have a marvelous performance and feel proud of you as champion." That wording immediately raised eyebrows. If this was just the opinion of a random collaborator, why was it published on the WBA's official website? And why was the WBA so quick to defend Willis in the first place? Mendoza also reached out to Roach's father, who is both his manager and trainer, with a similar message, but the damage had already been done to many. This looks like a failed cover-up. The WBA got caught trying to protect Davis, and when they realized the backlash was too much, they scrambled. To distance themselves from it, 35-35. At this point, all eyes were on Gervonta Davis himself, with accusations of bribery flying around. People wanted to hear his side of the story. When Tank finally spoke out, he didn't exactly deny anything, but he didn't admit to anything either. Instead, he fired back at critics saying, "I don't know anything about that, but look, they've been hating on me since day one. Y'all acting like I ain't never had to fight for my respect. They just mad 'cause I ain't lose my belt." Davis also claimed that he had no problem running it back with Roach, saying, "If they want a rematch, we can run it back. I ain't ducking nobody." But if that were true, why hasn't a rematch already been announced? Some believe Davis's camp is dragging its feet because they know Roach is a real threat.
I'm not sure, bro. Hopefully we can get it before. It probably won't be this year.
Next voice. I'm not sure, bro. Definitely not sure, but hopefully we can get it before. No, it probably won't be this year. Is that the meanwhile, the New York State Athletic Commission is now being pulled into the mess. The New York SAC was supposed to use instant replay on the night of the fight, but for some reason it never happened. Their official explanation: technical issues. That excuse has only made people more suspicious. What kind of technical issue conveniently happens at the exact moment when instant replay could have changed the outcome of a major title fight? Some fans are calling for a full investigation, and there are even rumors that Roach's team is considering legal action to challenge the fight result. If that happens, things could get even uglier.
Run over. You can't do that in boxing. Anything can happen. You can have a great night, believe that. You got to believe in your soul, and I think the kid was in there with his soul tonight. It was a good fight, don't get me wrong. And, to me, it could have went either way.